Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I'm going to call tonight's meeting to order. Thank you for being with us this evening. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance and our statement of acknowledgement and honor of Indigenous and diverse communities. Ms. Murphy.
We begin this meeting with acknowledgement of and honor for the many legacies that have impacted our community, particularly those buried over time. Acknowledging truth is critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. Cheltenham Township stands within the Lenape-Hopenik, the ancestral homeland of the Lenape civilization. Their people were and still are caretakers of this land and its rivers, and their legacy continues. We pay respect to their elders, past and present. Our community owes its existence and vitality to generations from around the world who contributed their hopes, dreams, and energy to making the history that led to this moment. Some were brought here against their will. Some were drawn to leave their distant homes in the hope of a better life, and some have lived on this land for more generations than can be counted. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of violence, displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us together. As a school district committed to fostering intellectual curiosity and discourse in service of social justice, join us in uncovering such truths.
Thank you, Ms. Murphy. Ms. Hatcher, could you please call the roll?
Good evening. Ms. Listing?
Present.
Mr. Burdell Williams?
Present.
Mr. Epps?
Present.
Ms. Loman?
Present.
Ms. Mulhern?
Present.
Ms. Murphy?
Present.
Mr. Schultz?
Present.
Dr. Watts?
Present.
Dr. White?
Present.
That concludes our roll call.
Thank you, Ms. Hatcher. We are now going to hear public comment on agenda items only. And as I have done the last few meetings, reiterating what public comment looks like within the context of these legislative meetings, any Cheltenham resident, taxpayer, school district employee are all permitted to speak and comment on, at this time, agenda items only. Speakers' comments are limited to 3 items or less. We also take comments via Zoom. And the other thing I will say is that in this context, we hear comment. It is not necessarily a conversation. Usually we take notes, we will write down questions, and if needed, a reply will be sent out from Dr. Scriven or another member of administration in the interim. But at this time, if you have a comment on agenda items only, you may come to the podium or raise your hand in Zoom. Sorry. 3 minutes or less, not 3 items or less. You're good. Thank you for the correction, Mr. Pope.
Hi, friends.
Yes, hello. Oh, and please state your name and where you reside in the township. I forgot that part.
Okay, I'm Emily Sheremy Walls. It's so good to see many of you. I reside in Ward 6. I wrote my comments today because I would definitely go over the 3 minutes. And as an elected official myself, I know the importance of that. So forgive me for reading them. I read this morning's announcement about the administrative changes at Cedarbrook East with real concern. After the abrupt closure of Elkins Park last year and the difficult realignment of buildings, our 6th graders have already experienced significant disruption. Through that upheaval, Ms. Nelson has been a trusted and steady presence for the students at Cedarbrook East. Removing the sole administrator from the building in the middle of the school year, when there are only a few months left in 6th grade, feels deeply unfair to the students who have worked so hard to adjust. These children have already experienced extraordinary instability in their formative years. They began elementary school during the pandemic with remote learning, then partial remote learning, and now major building changes. Many of them have only recently found stability after adapting to a new building, new schedules, and new teachers. Changing their leadership again right now creates yet another disruption just before they move to a different school next year. I'm also tremendously concerned about what this decision signals for the broader district. Just months ago, families were told that Dr. Russell would strengthen leadership at Wyncote. That has indeed been the case. Reversing that decision so quickly raises questions about long-term planning and stability. Finally, the email announcing this change stated that the board will approve these transitions at tonight's meetings. That language suggests the decision has already been made. When the elected board represents this community and deserves the opportunity to deliberate. For the sake of the students at Cedarbrook East specifically, I urge the board to allow Ms. Nelson to remain through the end of the school year so these sixth graders can finish with the stability that they so deserve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jeremy Walls. Thank you. All right, seeing no one at the podium and no hands raised, we will, oh, no, thank you, Ms. Saavedra.
Hi, everyone. I was hoping my husband got here before, but he's better at these things. But my name's Elizabeth Saavedra, and I am a resident of Elkins Park. Last year, the Elkins Park school community discovered that the sixth grade experience would be drastically altered. The CSC leadership team shared plans for the fifth grade to remain in their respective elementary schools, and the former fifth grade to remain at the modulars for their sixth grade year. This decision greatly impacted the children in profound ways. When the changes were proposed, the community was promised consistency in the face of displacement. Principal Nelson has been the constant. Now she is being moved and there was no community input. We're wondering why. Principal Nelson is an excellent administrator. She excels in all competencies in the leadership continuum. In a complicated situation, she was able to provide stability in one school year. Elkins Park and CBKE students lost half of their teachers. They left a familiar space and were moved to the modular classrooms. They lost the opportunity to experience being student leaders for younger students in the building. The current sixth grade is alone in their building. Despite being in this atypical situation, Mrs. Nelson led with purpose. She has successfully created a positive culture under challenging circumstances. Not having her for the foundational sixth grade experiences like the camping trip to Laughing Waters, the promotion ceremony, and the overall preparation for transition to seventh grade is unfair to this cohort of students. They have already experienced enough instability. Why take away their most trusted adult at such a pivotal moment of their school career? Mrs. Nelson also guided her staff through a difficult transition. She prioritized their needs as they lost the opportunity to work with colleagues that they had known for years. She provided clear expectations and stability as they moved classrooms, grade levels, and content areas. Many staff elected to remain at CBK East because they knew Mrs. Nelson would continue on as the lead administrator. The proposed decision to move her in March will undoubtedly impact staff morale and their trust in the decision-making process. The same can be said for the school's families. Although we were deeply concerned about the potential impact of our children learning in a modified sixth grade environment, we have developed trust and confidence in CBK East because of the strong leadership and relationships that have been developed with Mrs. Nelson. We appreciate you hearing our concerns. We know last year the change to move to Elkins Park School to the modulars was something that was necessary, but we're struggling to see the necessity of this current change at this time in the school year. We truly urge the board to think through the decision and also encourage district administration, the school board, to really take into account community input. Last year, when we were making this reorganization decision, we were all so grateful for all the input we were allowed to give. We felt like the school board, the administration really heard our concerns, answered all of our questions, and took that time. And so we're urging you to really consider that this evening as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Saavedra. Any other, we have a hand online. Thank you, Kevin.
Hi, my name is Rebecca Cohn. I am a resident of Elkins Park, and I have an 8th grader at Cedarbrook and a 6th grader at Cedarbrook East. I'm here in support of the other comments that are here tonight. Our biggest concern is the timing of losing Ms. Nelson at the end of this year. I would like to see more thought given to the timing itself. I think it's great opportunities for both Ms. Nelson and Dr. Russell, but it feels very rushed, and it feels like the community has not been given an opportunity for input into the decision. I also am wondering how the timing of the move benefits the students. In Dr. Scriven's email today, it noted that this move was being made with the students in mind, which we appreciate, but there was no evidence given of how the timing of this move will actually be benefiting them. So if there could be more information given there, we would appreciate it. We would also like the board to consider the timing of everything and possibly ask for pushback on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bone. Any other, I don't see anyone at the podium in the room. There are no other hands online. So at this time, I will close public comment on agenda items only. Thank you. We will now move on to our recognitions. We have Glenside with us tonight, and so I would love to have Dr. Robinson and her team come wow us with what the Glenside Bears are up to.
Good evening to our community, to the distinguished board, to board members, to Madam Board President, Mrs. Mulhern, and Superintendent Dr. Scriven. First, we're excited to present the artwork that we have here, the Glenside Elementary Art Showcase, under the guidance of our wonderful art teacher, Mrs. Conley. Glenside student artists learned the elements of art and principles of design, as well as experiment with a variety of media. Students explore art history, world cultures, and seasonal themes across the K-5 curriculum, and our program promotes art appreciation, self-exploration, and diversity. Highlights from this year's art showcase include assorted artist-inspired portraits, Van Gogh adaptations, and experiments in surrealism. Next, I wanted to just share that when we talk about, in terms of my share for Glenside, when we talk about transformation, we often talk about programs, curriculum, or initiatives. And over the last 9 years, I've highlighted those things during my annual board share. But tonight, I want to talk about people and the power of leading, as my friend Chanel Boswain says, leading as we, not me. Tonight, I want to show gratitude for your investment, this board's investment in teacher leaders, and encourage this governing board to continue to seek out the expertise, brilliance, and capacity of our greatest resource, our teachers. Dr. Scriven, you will remember when I first met you, I told you about a first grade teacher that was guaranteed to be a future star. She is sitting here tonight poised for her next dimension. This evening, I want to share with you snippets of many more, shall we have the courage to continue to see them. In a K-5 building, the most powerful lever, next slide, for the most powerful lever for student success is not a new resource. It's adult capacity. And the question I hold every day is this: how do we build a school where every child thrives academically, socially, and emotionally, not because of me, but because of we? Over the last 9 years, my focus has been simple: invest in the adults so the adults invest in the children. And our students are counting on us with increasing complexity. Next slide. They need stronger literacy instruction, differentiated math pathways, inclusive special education practices, explicit social emotional support, and classrooms where they feel seen and valued for each of their unique identities. No single administrator can meet that level of complexity alone, and the only sustainable path forward is collective leadership. And that is why I thank you for intentionally, again, investing in our teacher leaders. Over the last 9 years, this team that I call the Dream Team, we have built structures that move us from isolated excellence to shared expertise. We've identified teacher leaders across grade levels and disciplines who lead data conversations. They facilitate collaborative planning. They support new teachers. They model inclusive practices. They guide literacy and math alignment. They help us strengthen belonging practices. But this is not about titles. It's about multiplying impact. And when teachers learn from one another consistently and intentionally, three things happen. Instruction becomes more aligned. Next slide. Students experience greater consistency. Teachers feel supported instead of isolated. And let me share what this has meant for our students. We have seen in the data, stronger literacy small group instruction, clear math learning progressions across grade levels, earlier identification of intervention needs through MTSS, more inclusive classroom practices for students receiving services. And behind every data point, as I always say to Dr. Kat, every child is a heartbeat. Every child feels more confident picking up a book and a child who now raises their hand in math. Because teacher leaders also support culture building, we've seen stronger classroom community routines, more consistent behavior expectations, increased restorative justice, and increased student voice opportunities. When adults collaborate well, children feel it. The climate shifts. And perhaps most importantly, our teachers are not carrying this work alone. They are observing one another. They are planning together. They're problem solving together. And that builds collective efficacy. And collective efficacy is one of the strongest predictors of student achievement. So when teachers feel supported, children feel supported. I would like to take this moment now, next slide, to invite members of, next slide again. To invite members of the Dream Team to answer a brief question. These members are, we call them Fun Squad, Joy Ambassadors, Curriculum and Instruction Leaders, PBIS Leaders, New Student Ambassadors, Social Media, Wellness Leaders, Special Ed Coordinators. They do it all. And I want to ask them, how has teacher leadership changed your impact on students?
Good evening. My name is Katie Jacob, and I'm a reading specialist and a teacher leader for curriculum and instruction. These roles have given me the privilege of working alongside some amazing teachers across our school, supporting them in ways that touch the lives of every student. I've had the joy of collaborating with colleagues to model instructional strategies, run school-wide reading initiatives, support data-driven decisions, provide for professional development, and help shape our curriculum. Through these efforts, I've been able to contribute to meaningful learning experiences for many more students than I could ever reach alone. What makes this work truly meaningful is knowing that our collaboration helps students flourish. I'm truly thankful for having the chance to be a leader. It has taught me that when we support our teachers, we lift up every student in our building. And that is a gift I am deeply grateful to be part of. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Epstein. I'm the math specialist at Glenside. As a classroom teacher, my focus has always been on the students in front of me each day. Becoming a new student and family teacher leader has expanded that impact in a really meaningful way. I realize that a student's experience at school begins long before they walk into a classroom. It starts with whether they feel welcomed, comfortable, and that they belong. In this role, I've had the opportunity to help create those first positive experiences for new students and their families. Whether it's organizing student ambassadors to give tours to our guests, helping new students find a buddy, or simply making sure families have someone they can connect with, I've seen how much those small moments matter. When students feel supported from the start, they walk into their classrooms more confident and ready to learn. What has been especially meaningful to me is seeing our student ambassadors grow as leaders themselves. They take pride in others, in helping them feel welcome, and it builds empathy and responsibility in them. This leadership role has reminded me that our influence as teachers goes far beyond our own classrooms. Being able to help shape a welcoming school community has been incredibly rewarding, and it has deepened my understanding of how important connection and belonging are for student success.
I've been asked, my name is Gina Malone. Hello, everybody. I've been asked before I deliver my prepared little speech that you join us in our honey hooray, which is what we're doing over here. So when we have our assemblies, our school-wide assemblies, instead of a lot of applause, which is very loud for some of our students, we do a honey hooray. So it's a clap and then make it rain, kind of. So that is what we're doing. We just do one. Yes. Okay. So again, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Gina Malone, and I am the life skills teacher at Glenside Elementary. I also have the privilege to serve on the PBIS core team, and I'm a co-sponsor for the Rainbow of Friends, which is a character building and student service organization at our school. Through PBIS, I help support a positive school culture where all students feel recognized, supported, and encouraged to make good choices. Through the Rainbow of Friends, I work with student representatives to build leadership skills while giving back to our school and community. These leadership roles have allowed me to extend my impact beyond my classroom and continue supporting students in feeling confident, valued, and connected to our school community. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Gabe DeBaradinas. I'm the school counselor at Glenside Elementary School. Serving on the PBIS core team has allowed me to participate in shaping school culture, shaping a positive school culture and environment where all students feel supported, recognized, and encouraged to make good choices while keeping our school's agreements in mind. It has given me the opportunity to advocate for students, especially those who may need extra support, and to help ensure that all students feel seen and celebrated. And honestly, I want to give some credit to Dr. Robinson because she has this way of doing things where she's never demands anything of her core team, but she'll call you into a meeting and you'll just be feeling like totally exhausted. I can't add anything onto my plate. And then you go into the meeting and she gets you really excited about these ideas. And then 20 minutes later, you leave and you've committed to running a bullying prevention event and a Scholar of the Month program and a career day. And it's like your idea now. And you're like, yeah, I'm ready to do it. So special shout out to her because she really gets the most out of us. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Caitlin O'Driscoll, and I'm a kindergarten teacher at Glenside Elementary School.
And my name is Kate Bergmueller, and I'm also a kindergarten teacher at Glenside.
And we are a part of a 3-person teacher leadership team called the Spirit Squad. Unfortunately, our third partner, Kirby Brown, could not be here tonight.
But teacher leadership through the Spirit Squad has allowed us to extend our impact beyond our own classrooms. As a part of this team, we support monthly PBIS assemblies, school-wide celebrations like the Bear Bonanza, Spirit Weeks, and PBIS prize redemptions. This role has helped strengthen student relationships, bring some fun back into the elementary school, and it's exciting for us to see students buzzing with upcoming events and genuinely celebrating one another in our school.
We've noticed a positive shift in our peer dynamics, with students eager to recognize both their own successes and the success of their peers. Being a part of Spirit Squad helps create a school culture where students feel proud, students feel connected, and excited to be a part of our school community. We look forward to continuing in this role and making very special memories at Glenside.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tavia Brooks.
And we're the teacher leaders for Glenside's Cultural Proficiency Teacher Team. We collaborate with colleagues to support and create a more inclusive learning environment and experiences that help ensure all students and staff feel seen, valued, and respected. This year, we have successfully participated in our school's diversity festival, the district's Black History Month showcase, and the Glenside's Hall of Fame during Black History Month as well. We maintain an updated school-based cultural proficiency website that provides resources on monthly cultural celebrations aligned to our K-2 and our 3 to 5 grade bands.
This role has expanded our impact beyond our own classrooms and helps us think about how our whole school supports every student. With that, we actively collaborate with our school's PBIS team through our Swiss data analysis to ensure there is equity for all of our students at Glenside. Through this work, being a part of this team has strengthened our belief that when we work together to celebrate and understand our diverse community, it creates a more supportive environment where all students can succeed. In addition to working with our cultural proficiency team, I am also our social media teacher leader, where the goal is to bridge the gap between our classrooms and the community by capturing and sharing the joyful moments at our school. This role has profoundly shifted my practice, pushing me to view every lesson through a lens of celebration and engagement. The impact on our students has been remarkable. They take immense pride in seeing their hard work recognized, and they often refer to themselves as Instagram famous. This sense of belonging and visibility has notably boosted student morale, with our viewership reaching into the 4,000s for our top performing posts. Our reach is significant. In fact, our digital presence is becoming a powerful recruitment tool for our district. We've had a parent call our front office specifically asking how to enroll their student at Glenside Elementary because they stumbled upon our account and started following us, and they fell in love with the vibrant culture that we showcase every day. Thank you.
All right, I'm wrapping up, I promise. So this is what capacity looks like, friends. It's quiet, it's steady, and it multiplies. And so at the end of the day, this work is not about structures, it's about children, not your child, not my child, our children, Cheltenham School District children, a place where I choose to send my own children. And they deserve schools where adults are growing, adults are learning, and adults are leading, so they can thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Over the last 9 years, we've shifted from working harder to working smarter together. And when adults move together with clarity and purpose, children flourish. Thank you for your partnership and investment in building a school that Glenside Elementary, where leadership is shared, where the focus is not me, but we. And regardless of who stands at this podium next year and beyond, every child will have the opportunity to continuously thrive. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robinson and Mr. Ryan, for coming and sharing not only your students' artwork, but your dream team. It was so awesome to hear from all of you. Really fantastic. Some of us were able to meet some of the families and kids that were here earlier tonight doing the artwork, and that made the room feel a lot more vibrant and fun with so many little people in it. So thank you again for joining us. We appreciate hearing what's happening at Glenside. And thank you for teaching us, what do you call it? Your
Honey hooray.
The honey hooray. So we might start implementing that. Thank you so much. Next up is the approval of our minutes. If I have a motion to approve our February 10th minutes. So moved. Thank you, Ms. Blitzstein. A second.
Second, Ross Whiting.
Dr. Whiting, thank you. Any comments or corrections on the minutes? And I will take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Not seeing any abstentions or oppositions. Thank you. The motion carries. Next up is our student council report from Cheltenham High School. I believe we have Ms. Stryker with us this evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Elizabeth Stryker. I'm a senior over at the high school. I'm a part of the student council. Our last meeting was February 18th, and I'm going to read out all the reports. So elections for the new positions on student council are going to be held from April 20th to May 1st. This includes our president, vice president, environmental board, civil, school board, our social media people, pretty much everybody. So if you're looking to join student council, look on our Instagram page, Cheltenham Stuco. Our longstanding tradition of Mr. Cheltenham pageant, that's also being brought back up this year. More information will be released later about dates, but if you want to apply to be in it, you can reach out to us on our Instagram page. One major thing we were talking about was our upcoming like dance garden party thing. It's called the Magnolia Mixer, and it's going to be held at our high school in the courtyard. So the weather is really nice, I'm sure, as we've noticed. And the intention of this is to have a good time in the courtyard. We're gonna have like garden party, like activities like croquet and like chess, and like it's gonna be really cute. We're gonna have live music and some snacks. So entry is $10, but it should be a really good time. Feel free to come over. Tickets are being sold from April 10th. Or no, the event is April 10th from 5 to 8, but tickets are being sold early April. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Lizzie. Can I ask you, do you know, last Friday was blue and gold. Do you know who won the blue and gold competition?
Hey, gold one.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up is our solicitor's report, Mr. Diazio.
Thank you, Ms. Mulhern. The board did meet in executive session this evening prior to tonight's public board meeting. There were a number of personnel items that were discussed as part of that executive session. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, superintendent's report, Dr. Scriven.
Yes, good evening, and thank you, Madam Chair. This evening, as promised, I said that we would have a standing item every month on our safety updates. Today, I want to just give a high-level overview of the report from Center of Safe Schools with respect to our high school and the safety audit, which was conducted on December 9th. What we are going to do every time that I present one of these reports, which will be from now until the end of the year and into the summer, we're going to create a web that will house this information, and actually anyone will be able to view the full public document. You can go to the next slide. So just a quick overview of the scope of the high school. 1,400 students, approximately 113 staff members, over 315,000 square feet. We know it's adjacent to 309 and, of course, the address. Next slide, please. So the format of what actually occurred when the team came out. They came out 30 minutes prior to the beginning of school. They stayed throughout the entire day and were present approximately 30 minutes during dismissal and afterwards. I know that as educators, we're extremely big on the acronyms. So I just want to unpack that briefly. So PCCD is the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. And they are the actual Pennsylvania Commission that oversees the Pennsylvania Center for Safe Schools. The reason that we reached out to the Center for Safe Schools is that we wanted a credible evaluator to come in, which is research based, that will actually give us credible feedback on the state of all our schools and this administrative building. The CPTED principles is something that they use as a guiding measurement, and that stands or comes from crime prevention through environmental design. So there is a whole rubric that the Center for Safe Schools uses align with crime prevention through environmental design. And that is the process or the protocol that they use to evaluate not just our high school, but what they will be using to evaluate each one of our schoolhouses and again, the administration building. Next slide. So when you just talk about a baseline, a couple things that we have, not just at the high school, but let me limit because this is only reporting to the high school, but every classroom does have a landline, and that affords fluid cross-building announcement or the ability to announce in the case of emergency. There is also a secure reception area that is located for the parent entrance, which is right there by the flagpole. Next slide, please. Other things that were highlighted from the findings were in reference to the deployed technology, access controls, the badge, scanning attendance, the buzz-in, buzz-out controls, and the Raptor visitor management system that each visitor has to adhere to prior to entering the building. Next slide, please. So in terms of enhancing the first responder efficiency, our buildings from the exterior are labeled where anyone reporting for an emergency can clearly see what the entry point is. We did something a couple years ago. We worked fluently with the police department to make sure that they do have updated maps of our facilities. Not just the police department, also our fire department or any first responder. So we were given positive remarks for having this labeling in place, and it is a reflector labeling where even if you come in night, you're able to see the number. Next slide, please. So identifying high consequence vulnerabilities, these are now areas of potential consideration. And let me say that again, and let me just read this statement because I think it is worth reading. In a high stakes environment, areas for consideration are not operational failures. They are strategic opportunities to mitigate risk and evolve Cheltenham High School from a standard baseline of safety to a comprehensive, resilient security model. So we are not compromised in any way based on the report, but there are areas for consideration with regard to recommendations that have been made. When we look at evaluating that tactical resource gap, one thing that did come up, and if you look at surrounding districts, many of our campuses outside of Cheltenham do have armed staff member. We do not. We have safety officers which manage our building, but the recommendation is for a sworn law enforcement. Some refer to that as a SRO, school police officer. It's something that the high school potentially had in place, I want to say maybe 7 years ago, approximately. Again, this is a consideration. This is a recommendation. This is something that would need to be unpacked further. I'm simply sharing the findings from the report as it stands. When you look at upgrades with physical hardware, we do have to consider safety mechanisms on the interior of every classroom door. That was something that was brought to the attention. Our maintenance facilities has already started pruning trees on the exterior because they want you to have a clear sight line into the building. And then there are repairs, and we are always auditing our camera surveillance to see if adjustments need to be made to make sure we have appropriate coverage. And then there's signage around mobility rescue that needs to be updated and addressed. Next slide, please. So there is a process that they reference called tiered risk of unrestricted mobile devices. It's being stated that the absence of a strict no cell phone policy introduces severe operational hazards during an active emergency. They want us to consider as a board enforcing a no cell phone policy during the course of the day. Again, this is a consideration, but this is a recommendation that did come out of the audit. There's a phased approach, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Phase 1 are things that potentially can be addressed immediately. And if you can go to the next slide. When we look at this phase 1, immediate operational interventions, it's around enforcing the cell phone policy. It's around just the overall procedural rigor, maintaining the landscaping, eliminating roof access points, etc. It's upgrading the signage. It's the centralized digital safety or threat assessment team alongside of Safe to Say. And it's just initiating training. We currently do training, but they do want us to do more tabletop exercises, not just with central office staff, but with faculty and staff. That is something that we would actually have to look at building into our professional development cycle. Next slide, please. So when we talk about the tactical hardware and personnel, it's the armed personnel. It's that SRO or a hired armed guard. It's panic alarms. We used to have them in every building. Is the alarm that's usually located somewhere in the front office area. For us, it would be in our welcome area that would go directly to 911. It's upgrading digital key boxes that would go directly to 911. And then there's a protective glazing that's supposed to be on the lower level of glasses. Whereas if it was struck by a bullet, the glass would not shatter, and it would give a little more additional time prior to someone, an intruder, having free entry into the building. So these are phase 2 things that would be considered. And then phase 3 are larger, big ticket items. For those, and most of you are familiar with the high school, coming in off of the student parking lot, it would entail us beyond the double entry building another entry, which would be a protective zone that would not allow intruders into the main part of the building. We do not currently have that in that vestibule area, and it would be something that would need to be designed and constructed. They are asking potentially to install exterior audio visual intercoms to vet visitors also on that entry. We do have it for parents where they come in at the bus stop, but not at the main entry. And just upgrading our communication integration. Next slide, please. Want to pivot, and again, that material, the full report, which I believe is 78 pages, we will be creating a website that will be accessible to the public where they can go through that full report in detail. Dr. Robinson, I just wanted to make eye contact. Ms. Nelson, Dr. Savage, Madam Chair, our VP, we have so many, Ms. Rodwell Green, Ms. Smith, Dr. Collins, Dr. Watts, just everyone, or the women in the room. this is a month which acknowledges the strength of women, the leadership of women, the importance of their voice, the importance of diversity. It represents what we just heard in the Glenside report. I just wanted to take a moment because I only have this opportunity during legislative to call folks out in this way and just thank you for your leadership. It is something that we do honor as a district and something that I would be remiss as superintendent if I did not recognize. When we talk about Mrs. Nelson and Dr. Russell, and to my parents, to the emails that I have received, I do believe in being collaborative. I think that that is extremely important. There are some times, unfortunately, where being collaborative is not afforded to me in this role. When I have unexpected resignations at an unexpected time in the year, it is my job to make those hard decisions. With Principal Janad not staying until the end of the year and opting to leave at the end of this month, I did not have a lot of notice. I had to move quickly in terms of making some decisions. I remember when Principal Nelson was assigned at EP as interim. That was a decision which I played a role in. I really love the concept about it's about we and not about me. You can go to the next slide with Mrs. Nelson. Let me just say this. I understand wholeheartedly how the parents, community at the mods feel with losing a solid administrator, an exemplary administrator. But I do want to reiterate, I am not removed from CBEs. I push in every month when I move, where I meet with a group of very powerful students in my superintendent advisory council. I get to observe very powerful teacher leaders that are in that meeting. Mrs. Morgan being one of them, who's a teacher on assignment currently at that building. And I have to acknowledge Dr. Russell. She is going to be a powerful asset to the mods. This did not go without a lot of thought and deep consideration. I do want to clarify that even though I put this on the board agenda, this is not a move that needs to be approved by the board. Even though the board is aware, I take full ownership of superintendent for the transition which is being recommended tonight. I think that, not I think, I know without a doubt that the parents at CB East will be or grow to respect the leadership of Dr. Russell in the same way that they respect the leadership of Mrs. Nelson. I could not have made a move like this 3 years ago because we did not have the bench to even go to. And that speaks to part of the messaging that Dr. Robinson put out around the importance of building capacity. I could not bring in an outside administrator and put them at Cheltenham Elementary. That was a non-negotiable. This is an opportunity for Mrs. Nelson to continue to grow in her career path. And I do not apologize for that, but I do apologize for the impact that it is having on the families. I know that this is a question of trust in my decision-making and my leadership and the timeliness or lack thereof of this. And I sit here as superintendent looking you in your faces and saying that I will own that. It is not the intent to bring discomfort or disruption. I will also comfortably say that I know that Principal Nelson and Dr. Russell will work collaboratively with this transition and even through the remainder of this year, whether it would be shaping what the step-up ceremony would look like, and so forth. So I have the confidence. They have a great working relationship. There's going to be opportunity for transition where Principal Nelson will be able to push in prior to Ms. Janah leaving Cheltenham Elementary, and Dr. Russell will have an opportunity to push in at the mods prior to Principal Nelson exiting from the mods. So I just want to set the record straight from the standpoint that I know the wording in the communication potentially was not worded correctly. To be quite honest, I should not have even gone through the process of even putting it in the board agenda, but I tried to be as transparent as I can. I got the communication out as fast as I could. I made the decision as fast as I could based on the leadership individuals that we have in the district. I really want to acknowledge Principal Teller, because he, out of everyone, is the one that is losing an extraordinary administrator, but he is an extraordinary administrator. And he is demonstrating that, and I know that he will continue to run Wyncote with the same efficacy which he has done to this point, and we will be pushing support in. As a community, I will just simply say, please give this time. I know that it will work, and you can hold me accountable for that statement. So that brings closure to my superintendent's report. There will be opportunities for them to meet parents, which I think is going to be important. Those at CB East have not had the opportunity to meet Dr. Russell. When you do have that opportunity, you will see why I selected to move her into that position. So I want to publicly acknowledge both of them for their willingness. I did not force them to move. This was not a directive. This was something that they both had to speak to their families about. This is something that they are doing with their eyes wide open. This is a move that they are embracing, and Principal Nelson is embracing this because she knows the leadership of Dr. Russell. Her heart will and always will be with those students at CB East because they will always be her students. So thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the board for that opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Scriven. It is now the board president's report. And the first thing I'll say is thank you, Dr. Scriven, for walking us through both the safety audit, which is some difficult, heavy material to wade through, and also for explaining the process to where we are with the moves with Mrs. Nelson and with Dr. Russell. And I think it helps all of us to understand your thoughtfulness, your transparency, and your willingness to own when it doesn't go as planned or doesn't go perfectly. And I have full confidence in you and in these moves that our students and staff and our families will come to love their time with both Mrs. Nelson and Dr. Russell. The other two things I'd like to mention briefly are if you listen to our reorganization meeting or have heard a few of my other reports, I've talked about the board's interest in wanting to be more community oriented and attending more events. And to that end, we're taking a stab at a way to track events and get us all kind of organized and getting to more of them. So that is in process. And I wanted to share that so that you are aware that we didn't just talk about it, we are trying to put it into action as well. So hopefully you'll see our faces at more and more events because they're all going to be housed in one place and we will know where they are. What did I do? Did I say? Oh, you're smart. Okay. Thought I said something wrong. Thank you. The other thing, you're used to hearing Mr. Burdell Williams talk about Eastern Center for Arts and Technology, but I wanted to take a minute to acknowledge they had their annual open house last weekend and also some training and orientation for board members. And both Mr. Burdell Williams and Dr. Watts and I all had the opportunity to go there. I don't think I missed anyone else that was there. It was an amazing experience seeing that facility, seeing those students, so many Cheltenham students showcased, whether they were speaking to a room full of board members, talking about their experience at Eastern and what it means to them, or showcasing what they do within the various areas and, trying to get other kids excited to want to come there and do that same thing there. So Dr. Planarski does amazing work there. It was good to see it all in action. And so if you have not been and get the opportunity, go. But I just wanted to put that out there that we had an opportunity to do that and to thank Eastern. And continued thanks to Mr. Burdell Williams for serving on the JOC and bringing all of that good news back to us every month, as he will in a little bit. And next we will have committee reports. First up is the MCIU, Ms. Lohman.
Thank you, Ms. Mulhern. The Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Board met on Wednesday, February 25th at 6:45 p.m. The board met in executive session beforehand to discuss personnel matters. Some highlights for from the board meeting include a presentation by Sandy Edling, who is the IU's Assistant Executive Director, about a new program that the IU is launching called Leadership Montco. Just a sort of background about the IU. The IU, it has no taxing authority. So all of the revenue that it raises either has to come through grants or from fee-for-service. So or from fee-for-service from districts or other entities. So one of the things that the IU has been doing is trying to brainstorm ways to make more money, basically. And so they have developed this program called Leadership Montco, which is 2 distinct leadership tracks designed to meet professionals at different stages of their journeys. It involves targeted learning, hands-on collaboration, and real-world engagement with complex challenges. There's an executive leadership track and a lead forward leadership track. They are 9 months long, each of them. One of them is $6,500. The other one is a little less at $6,300. So these are really for professionals who are looking to gain some more skills and meet other professionals within Montgomery County. So that's a program that the IU is launching now, actually. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that Ms. Edling also noted, and sorry if I may be stealing your thunder a little bit, Mr. Abs, that the legislative breakfast that's held every year for superintendents and school board members in Montgomery County, the panelists for that breakfast will be State Representative Matthew Bradford from Norristown, State Senator Tracy Pennycook, thank you. And North Penn students will moderate, and the theme will be about school facilities. So that is coming up at the end of March. Barbara Cahan Thornton provided a brief overview of the audit financial statement for the IU and reported that it was a clean report. The IU is actually piloting art therapy, which is a new therapy for them. They're contracting for services with the Child and Family Art Therapy Center. So that is something that the IU will be offering. And one other mention, the Montgomery County IU Education Foundation is offering scholarship opportunities for students through inclusive experiences. So this is for students with disabilities for scholarships for either post-secondary education or summer camps. So I will make sure that that information gets forwarded to the right folks so that that can be made available to our families. The next IU board meeting will be held in person and over Zoom on Wednesday, March 25th at 6:45 p.m. This is my report.
Thank you, Ms. Lohman. Financial Affairs, Mr. Schultz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Financial Affairs Committee met on Tuesday, March 3rd in a hybrid format. Following roll call and approval of minutes, we received interim financial information as we do every month, and things are still continuing on expected paces. We then received an update related to capital financing and also a review of our current debt service and essentially making sure we understand the layout of our debt service, which will largely, the largest amount of it wraps up in 2041. And that's related to a lot of projects that were done long in the past. But this is really important information as we are doing capital planning and financial planning that spans over multiple years. We also received an update around our food services and the money, which is handled in a separate budget from our general budget. It has its own budget that operates within itself. And we got updates around that that fund. This was particularly relevant because we are about to consider bids for our vendor. And so folks should feel free to reach out with thoughts and input for that process. Finally, we received an update on the governor's budget proposal. It is just a proposal, so it's early days, but it's still very important for us to be familiar with what discussions are happening in Harrisburg, so that way we can refine our own budget in hopeful anticipation that the proposed funding increases will be at the 4.8% level that is in that proposal, or higher, since I see our state representative in the room. Our next committee meeting will be held on April 7th, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Educational Affairs, Dr. Whiting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Educational Affairs Committee met on Tuesday, February 17th at 7 p.m. in a hybrid format here in the Administration Building and via Zoom. The meeting included information on gifted education identification and instruction and special education. Dr. Pimentel, Supervisor of Innovation and Enrichment, opened the meeting with a review of gifted and individualized education programming. Dr. Pimentel also provided a history of equity in gifted education, beginning with the identification of an overrepresentation of white students and underrepresentation of students of color in gifted education beginning in 2017. A review of changes to gifted identification protocols occurred in 2021, and current racial disproportionality identified in early 2025 that continue to over-identify white students and under-identify students of color for gifted education. Over the last year, Dr. Pimentel and the administration reviewed all gifted reports since 2022 to identify patterns in racial inequity in gifted programming. As a result of the review, evaluation processes have changed as of September 2025 with a focus on racial equity within the district. Since the implementation of those changes, data show the incoming cohort of students identified as gifted is much more proportional to the racial population of the district as a whole. Dr. Pimentel also identified programmatic changes to gifted education, including reorganization of courses and sequencing in the high school to focus on rigor and real-world skill development. The board and public will continue to receive updates on racial equity and progress in gifted education across the district moving forward. Dr. Katrin Bone, Director of Special Education, and Ms. Gigian Vittorio, Supervisor of Special Education, presented information on special education in Cheltenham School District. Special education evaluations and assessments were reviewed while current staffing, programming, and curriculum were described at both the elementary and secondary levels. Dr. Katrin Bone highlighted paraprofessional development to improve the effectiveness and fidelity of services for students who receive paraprofessional support. The district continues to receive parent feedback on special education services through a yearly survey, which has recently concluded. Look out for that survey in the future to provide feedback, or email us, the school board members, anytime to provide feedback on special education. Finally, I want to highlight the community support, including members of the Special Education Alliance of Cheltenham, who were many members of whom were in the meeting that evening. Please check out SEEK if you have not already. They are awesome. And the United Parents Group, an organization comprised of parent representatives from all across the district. The Educational Affairs Committee will meet again on March 17th, 2026 at 7 p.m. in a hybrid format here in the Administration Building and via Zoom. This concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Whiting. Next up, we will hear from Mr. Burdell Williams on Eastern.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, board members and community. The Eastern Center for Arts and Technology Joint Operating Committee met last on February 11th in a hybrid format. As is customary at the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology, the first order of business on our agenda is the approval of the Student of the Month. We recognized David Phillips, who is a senior at Abington Senior High and was recognized for his outstanding work in Eastern's Protective Services Program. He's been a junior member of the Roslyn Fire Company for the last 4 years. And after visiting Eastern and attending the open house that Ms. Mulhern did just reference in his actual 10th grade year, he chose to enroll in that Protective Services Program to broaden his knowledge across the multiple public safety fields. He currently serves as the sergeant for the Protective Services class and regularly volunteers his time at school and at community events. He was recognized last year at Eastern's award night with the Protective Services Achievement Award. And at Abington Senior High, he is an active member of the First Responders Club. After graduating from Eastern and Abington Senior High, David plans to continue serving his community by working part-time with the Upper Moreland Fire Department while completing the additional certifications required to pursue a career in firefighting, including Firefighter 2, Vehicle Rescue Technician, and Emergency Vehicle Operator. After approving that item, we did also unanimously approve certify, I should say, Eastern's 2026-2027 operating budget. We did just hear from Mr. Schultz a moment ago about the budget cycle here in Cheltenham School District. Eastern operates on a different cycle. They operate on more of a January to December cycle, so that their approval happens on a little bit of a different cadence than what you would hear at our normal Financial Affairs Committee meetings here in Cheltenham. Two important functions of that budget. Number one, the amount that a school district is responsible for contributing to that budget is directly proportional to the students who attend. So we are in Cheltenham, we have the second largest populace of students who attend Eastern Center for Arts and Technology, something I'm quite proud of. That does mean that we do contribute quite a significant amount when it comes to their budget. Secondly, an aspect of Eastern's budget is the ongoing 10-year capital improvement plan. One of the things that Mrs. Mulhern, as well as Dr. Watson, anyone who's seen Eastern at least in the last 3 years, has experienced is a significant upgrade of the physical plant, where we have been able to add programs such as the robotics and automated technology, as well as the exercise science program, as well as make enhancements to the culinary program, protective services, welding, automotive, as well as the allied health space, all inside of the 7 years since that plan has been kicked off. There are still ongoing projects, but we are 7 years in and we are continuing to fund that capital plan. After we did the very exciting stuff of approving both the Student of the Month as well as the certification of the budget, we heard more about student recognition, which is always one of the highlights of my time that I spend at Eastern Center for Arts and Technology, but also here in Cheltenham. And I did want to just take a moment to recognize Cheltenham students who were recognized at Eastern during Black History Month. First was Michaela Dupree, who was recognized for her work in the Business and Technology Professional Program. Giovanni Francis, recognized for his work in automotive technology. Kayla Irvin, who was recognized for her work in the Business and Technology Program. And Izel Erbiman, who's known by Zelly, who we heard from actually at the board member presentation last week for her work in the Allied Health Program. The second informational update related to student success from Eastern is related to the Skills USA District Competition medalists. There were 66 total students from the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology who participated in either a skill area or a leadership competition at the Skills USA District 2 competition back in January. This was held at Walnut Hill College, and then also at Bucks County Technical School based on the particular focus area. At Eastern, there were 19 first place winners out of 66. 5 second-place winners, 25 third-place winners, and 5 of those first-place winners are going to, 5 who will go directly to state competition. The gold medal winners will compete at April state competition in Hershey, and there's a full list of medalists on Eastern's website at eastern.org. The next meeting of the Eastern Center for Arts and Technology is tomorrow at 8 p.m. at Eastern's facility on Turwood Road in Upper Moreland. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Don't turn your mic off yet, Mr. Burdell Williams. You're up next with facilities.
Thank you. The Facilities Committee for Cheltenham School District met last on Tuesday, March 3rd at 7 p.m. We heard 2 updates, one that I'm happy to speak of in the past tense related to snow removal and freezing temperatures. That's both the reality of what we're experiencing right now, and also everyone knows, if you don't know, my solid focus on optimism. We also then heard an update related to our capital projects, our large capital projects that are in progress now. One being our athletic stadium update at the high school, and then also the 2 expansion projects, one at Cedarbrook Middle School as well as one at Glenside. What we heard was that there was a significant amount of challenges from the snowstorms and the freezing temperatures, and I don't think that was exclusive to the school district. I'm sure many of us experienced those, but now a thing of the past, and hopefully to stay that way. But significant effort was done on the part of the facilities team, having so many snowstorms this year, the way that they happened, the freezing temperatures that accompanied them, and the challenges that they had to fight through, but doing their very best to ensure that our students and families and faculty could make it in and out and around our buildings as safely as possible. The updates related to our capital projects first, from a financial standpoint, we are about $8 million out of the $13 million that we have budgeted for the stadium project. There's a significant amount of progress that has been made. If you happen to pass now, you will see things like, well-defined, the turf is down. You'll see well-defined bleachers. You'll see where there's going to be the new track being laid, as well as the building currently of the new clubhouse that will house, bathrooms, restrooms, as well as concessions. There is still quite a bit of work left, but that project is well underway. The district then also shared an update related to both the Cedarbrook and Glenside projects, where we heard that we've got some trailers that have been moved on site. I'm sure they're not very pretty, and they may not take up, they may be taking up some valuable space, but they're there for a good reason. So I know we're smiling now, but I think it's some of the necessary pain or hurdles that we have to experience in order to see the outcome that we want for those facilities. There was, some public comment related to the cost of the stadium project relative to some other district plans. And then also a comment on my part as chair, just related to wanting to understand more from the administration related to the existing and ongoing timeline related to that big project at the athletic stadium. So I know there's a lot of work happening. I know that the administration, bless you, Jenny. And I know there's a lot of work happening at the site and also at administration to make sure that we're planning the opportunities that we want our community to experience, and that we're following and tracking the timeline closely. If there's an opportunity, administration, to be able to share any updates with the community, I would also, ask that we take that opportunity now to do so. And I appreciate all the information that we've received so far. That concludes my report. The next meeting for the Facilities Committee is going to be on April 7th at 7 p.m. in the hybrid format. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Burdell Williams. I will give the update for the liaison group. We have not met since our last legislative meeting. However, the liaison group is slated to meet this coming Monday, March 16th at 8 a.m. via Zoom. So I will have an update next month. Policy Committee, Ms. Lohman.
Thank you. The Policy Committee did not meet in February. Our next meeting will be in 2 weeks on March 24th at 7 p.m. here at the administration building. I believe that we are going to be looking at our electronic device policy, perhaps, again. I don't know, maybe that's maybe which incorporates the issue around cell phone usage. So that ends my report.
Thank you, Ms. Lohman. Legislative update, Mr. Epps.
Thank you. Greetings, members of the public, administration, my fellow board members. I'm Zachary Epps, a member of the Legislative Committee for Montgomery County. So I have 4, maybe 5 updates for you. I'll try to be as brief as possible. First, to continue the student outreach unrelated to legislative. As a board member, we've been getting around. I was able to see the basketball team in action, and I'd be remiss if I didn't point out they have a number of seniors on their team. One is Micah Millis, who is a 4-year captain on the team, even before varsity, pursuing aerospace engineering at his next level, and was accepted to a number of universities. The one I'll mention is University of Maryland, College Park, because they have a wonderful engineering program and my alma mater, but he's been accepted to a number of schools, and so it's an exciting time for his family. And the basketball team had some tenacity, persistence, and I was able to see them come back from an 11-point deficit. They held the team to no points in the third quarter, came back and won to get 5th place in their division. So shout out to the work that Coach Pat and the team is doing. Shout out to the Millis family for all of the accomplishments right now. Now to legislation. You'll hear a couple things that you've heard earlier. When we met, we talked a lot about the budget proposal as well. I won't go into all of the details, but 3 things to be mindful of for your own advocacy and knowledge. One, something to pay attention to is revenue. What are the projected revenue sources? And that's going to be a conversation over time. How much revenue is projected to come in? Are those projections, and how accurate are those projections? Rainy day fund. You may hear a lot of talk about the rainy day fund. Pennsylvania has about a little more than $7 billion in reserves. And this proposal actually, in its current form, is proposing to use about $4 billion of the $7 billion in reserves. So that's another topic of conversation. And as well, shifting funds around early childhood education, that 0 to 5 range. We heard a little bit about like demographic shifts, but what funding is needed for 0 to 3 versus 3 to 5? That's another topic of conversation. So folks, continue to stay aware. Unfortunately, Pennsylvania is not unique, but we have a secretive budget process, and so a lot of the conversations they are budget hearings, but a lot of the conversations around decisions do happen behind closed doors. And so that's another advocacy moment for ourselves as community members around transparency in the budget process. Secondly, I will report on a few legislative proposals that are in place right now. One, the cell phone ban. So everybody's talking about cell phones, and at the state level, there is there's some proposed legislation right now for really a bell-to-bell elimination, right? And so there's some conversations around local control. How much discretion should local districts have in determining to what extent to ban cell phones? Charter school enrollment, topic that some folks have brought up here, is when students leave charter schools, where do they go next? Right now, there's no requirement to sort of do some reporting and around that once students leave. And so there's some legislation to hopefully around accountability and actually tracking where students in enrollment and how that changes from year to year for charter schools. And then something our solicitor is, I'm sure, very well aware of is around the requirement to post our notices about our meetings in a written newspaper. And so we are 2026. Without getting into the merits of journalism where it is today, can be somewhat of a tedious requirement. So that is something that hopefully will modernize how we can promote and talk about our meetings. And then AI is something we've been talking about within the school district, how students and teachers use AI. Conversations around AI, and now we're talking about safety a little earlier today. There's now some conversations around AI and security systems and cameras and weapons and detection. And so that's a conversation that is growing and something we want to be mindful of as we make security enhancements and AI policy
as well, something to consider as we talk about that. So those are not the only pieces of legislation that are on board, but a few that folks may want to be a little more mindful of as time moves forward. And then there's a Voices for Education. Our students are actually, our high school students are well known around the county as cultural ambassadors as it relates to race and racial recognition and equity. Voices for Education is a broader program for students to meet with legislators, design solutions to issues that are important to them, actually advocate within and around Harrisburg. And so about 11 school districts participate in Voices for Education. And so Brandon Langer, who runs the program, came and let us know about the positive impact that they're having. And they're also going to be meeting with our 3 Montgomery County commissioners over the next couple of weeks. So again, a space for learning for those students, but also for them to contribute to the decisions that impact their lives. So that's Voices for Education. That would be a program open to our high schoolers. And so our last meeting was March 4th. So we just met last week. We meet virtually, and then our next meeting will be April 9th, right after our facilities and finance. And that will bring my report to a close. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Epps. Our last report for tonight is from Dr. Watts with the Cheltenham Education Foundation.
Thank you, Madam President. The Cheltenham Education Foundation just held their annual donor thank you event on Sunday, March 1st, with about 40 people in attendance, including Dr. Scriven and Ms. Savage, highlighting the close partnership between the foundation and the district in supporting innovative educational and instructional programming. During their presentation, they highlighted the money that they've raised over the past year and their commitment to increase spending on grants and scholarships with the excess surplus. So things to highlight in terms of their innovative educator grants for this school year. They gave out 30 grants for a total of $30,000 across all 6 schools, impacting more than 2,000 students. And in terms of scholarships for the class of 2025, there were 18 scholarships given to 30 grant recipients for a total of $20,000 given out. So a lot of really good work being done there. Scholarships for the class of 2026 were released yesterday. So keep your eyes out, students. This year, many scholarships increased in size from $500 to $1,000. Seniors are encouraged to apply. There's a wide range of scholarships available, reflecting different student interests, experiences, and goals in the district, and the kinds of experiences, the unique experiences that our students have here in Cheltenham is something that the foundation really tries to highlight. So please check out the website at cheltenhameducationfoundation.org or touch base with your school counselors. Finally, in order to raise the money for those scholarships and awards, the Race for Education is a month from tomorrow on Saturday, April 11th. Flyer is attached to the minutes and is available also on their website. We really urge people to form a team at their school or in their community, in your community, in your neighborhood, or join an existing team. We do have a board team. We're looking for more members. And again, a shout out to Mr. Burdell Williams. He's looking to repeat last year's success. Ms. Lohman and I will be bringing up a slower, more thoughtful pace in the walking constituency. So the next meeting of the foundation will be our annual retreat on Saturday, March 21st. This ends my report.
Thank you, Dr. Watts. Appreciate those updates. Next, we're going to move on to our approval of agenda items. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved, Daniel Schultz.
Second, Charles Burdell.
Oh, second, Ms. Murphy. Thank you. Any comments from the board? Mr. Schultz.
2 quick comments. The first is actually a clarifying question around just the approval of agenda items lists repeat first read policies. I just wanted to clarify, we are not voting on the first read policies. That is just for information, correct?
Correct. The final approval comes at second reading.
Thank you very much. I also just wanted to thank Dr. Scriven for his superintendent's report. Thank the community for sharing their thoughts and their experiences. And I wanted to also thank Dr. Scriven for the opportunity to affirm my trust in your judgment and leadership. As a board member, I recognize that personnel decisions are the jurisdiction of administration. You have way more context than I do as a board member. And my role is to make sure that I have trust in the processes that are followed, the judgment and the strategy. I think that we have seen when you have the luxury of time, the level of community engagement that you incorporate into major decisions. And I also think that the process that led us to Cedarbrook East in its current state, it shows how deeply you think and how deeply you care as a superintendent and an administrative team. So I very much valued getting to hear your thought process here and in passing in other ways, but I'm very excited for my fifth grader, soon to be sixth grader, to experience Cedarbrook East next year. I'm excited for all of our students who are going to benefit from some amazing principals. So thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Ms. Blitzstein?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to acknowledge our 22 volunteers this month who went through the rigorous process of getting volunteer approval and recognize that that is not an easy feat. So thank you to all of those who went through it, and I'm happy to approve that. I also wanted to just make one note about approving the Young Playwrights contract, which I was really happy to see on here, as I have seen the products and the productions that Young Playwrights creates with our students, and the power of writing beyond responding to text is powerful. So I really appreciate that and happy to see that on here again.
Thank you, Ms. Blitzstein. Any other board comment? I'll just, seeing that, I will just echo regarding the volunteers. I know at least a few of these volunteers are heading on the aforementioned sixth grade camping trip. So glad that they got all of their paperwork in. I know at least one of them was here. I don't know if he still is, but Mr. Saavedra was in the audience and he is on the list. So thank you to all of them. The only other thing I'll quickly mention, because I don't think board members know how to not acknowledge retirements, and I know we will acknowledge them at the very end when we celebrate all of our retirees, but this is the time of year they start to come in, and Ms. Landolfi has been a special education teacher at Wyncote for 28 and a half years, which is an amazing tenure. She was one of my children's special ed teachers, so a special shout out to Ms. Landolfi, and excited for her to enjoy her time outside of Wyncote going forward. If there are no other comments, I will take a motion to approve the agenda items. Oh, we already did that, sorry. It's a long night, I'm gonna call it a question, yes. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or abstentions? Thank you, the motion carries. Apologies. Moving on, the next item on our agenda is public comment on non-agenda items. So similar to our time earlier, if anyone that is here with us in the room or on Zoom would like to speak about any items, you're welcome to come to the podium or raise your hand. Please state your name, where you reside in the district, and we look forward to hearing from you. And you would have 3 minutes. Ms. Rodwell Green.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, school board directors and Cheltenham administrators. Thank you for all that you do. I'm Keisha Rodwell Green. I am co-president of the United Parents Group, as well as co-president of the Band Parents Association. I am here tonight mainly as a parent, and I do not have an ask, but I am going to read a statement. Before I do that, I want to say, Dr. Scriven, thank you for sharing the security updates from the assessment. Many of those items were requested by UPG, and our sister organizations, the Special Ed Alliance of Cheltenham and the Cheltenham African American Alliance, as well as the band parents, football parents, and several other groups about 2.5 years ago when the gun incident happened at Abington High School. It's good to see that we're moving forward with potentially implementing some of those. So thank you. I believe that you can tell what a person values by where they spend their money and their time. I believe the same is true of an entity like a school district. First, I'm going to start by saying that during our band home show on February 14th, there was no security staff present in the building on that day. The show lasts 2 days, Friday and Saturday. Saturday, we had no security in the building. I am not sure how many people are aware of that. Thankfully, Mr. Sheridan had honored our request to have a Cheltenham police officer present at the admissions table. As you know, we are handling a large amount of cash. You all may not know that, but we are. And several hundred people are being hosted in our school that day. To have no security present was a glaring oversight. The security manager, Mr. White, walked through the building briefly that I know of. My understanding is that no security personnel were scheduled that day. So it was not an accident or a mix-up. Again, this is my understanding. This lack of security caused preventable issues, including a parking situation where an Abington parent was blocked in their parking space for over an hour with no security available to assist or arrange a tow. Mr. Sheridan ultimately had to make a building-wide announcement before the vehicles, plural, were moved. I am also deeply concerned about the ongoing displacement of our color guard team due to the continuous use of the Cheltenham High School gym by the Cheltenham Adult School basketball program. This has forced our team to be relocated during their practices repeatedly. Every Wednesday evening, the team practices at Cedarbrook Middle School, relocating their flags, rifles, sabers, and props to Cedarbrook because the adult school's men's basketball team is using the gym. Additionally, they are often forced to practice on Sundays, which for many of the students is their only day off from school and activities. They do this because it is the only day they can get gym time. It is clear.
I apologize for interrupting you. We are past 3 minutes.
It is clear, please allow me. It is clear that the district prioritizes the adult school program over our color guard team, despite this being at odds with Board Policy 707, use of district facilities. I believe this is because the team is predominantly young women. They would not dare displace the men's basketball team from the gym. Our color guard team deserves better, especially considering that just 2 years ago, they were left stranded in Wildwood without a bus and had to walk to their hotel in the pouring rain in full costumes, hair, and makeup. Mr. Sheridan has worked with us to correct some of the longstanding issues present when he arrived, but the situation with the adult school appears political, in my opinion, again. To ensure transparency, I plan to file a right to know request regarding the relationship and agreements between the Cheltenham School District and the Cheltenham Adult School. I also plan to file a second request seeking detailed information on the number of music staff and personnel employed by Cheltenham School District and comparable school districts in Montgomery and Bucks County. I believe our music program is underfunded and undersupported for its size and potential impact, especially when compared to districts similar to ours. 2 weeks ago, Dr. Savage led the UPG webinar titled Pathways in Progress, examining the CSD performance data. During that presentation, we shared a document comparing our district to similar districts with comparable median home values in Montgomery and Bucks counties. Parents spoke during that meeting about the benefits of music education as it relates to academic development and performance. UPG has also created a parent guide to the right to know law for
Ms.
any
Treadwell, we're
parents,
gonna need to ask you
for
to
any
sit down.
parents who would
We're at
like a
6
copy
minutes now.
of this
I'm gonna ask you
document.
to, see the
Please
microphone
email
next.
Cheltenham_UPG@gmail.com. Thank you, and apologies for going over.
Thank you.
I would also like to add, if any band parents or UPG members are present or on the line, if you would like to comment as well. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to make public comment? Please come to the podium or raise your hand via Zoom. Thank you, Ms. Stryker.
Hi, my name is Crystal Stryker. I live in Cheltenham. I have 3 children. One of them's over there. She's going to graduate soon. So I am a band parent, and I spent 2 whole days volunteering, 8-hour days in the building. And I had to use the ladies' room in the high school. And my goodness, it is not in keeping with Cheltenham School District. My kids are getting a phenomenal education here. And I think the ride home, if you visited and you were in the same ladies' room that I was, the ride home is, oh my God, those bathrooms. That's not what we want. My kids are getting a wonderful education here, and I'm sad that visitors to our school have to be told by, other kids, oh, those 2 soap dispensers don't work. Go to that one over there. The graffiti is just really, really insane. I mean, it's just so out of keeping with our district and the impression that we want to make to a guest or a visitor. Think about your home right now. If someone visited you, would there be soap in the bathroom? Okay. Thank you. And I also endorse what Kisha had said about the color guard team. To me, it's really surprising that adult men who've already had the chance to go to school and be, basketball players or whatever, adult men are displacing high school students. We pay taxes to this district to educate our students, not our adult men. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stryker. Is there anyone else that would like to come to the podium? Do we have any hands, Mr. Kaufman? No hands. Mr. Stryker.
Since Keisha, hello, I'm Jeff Stryker. I'm Lizzie's dad. I guess, prop father, so to speak, of the color guard. Just to give the board members some context of the issue that we're talking about with the displacement of the color guard. We're talking about a 50 by 70 vinyl floor that probably weighs over 300 pounds that these 20 girls have to haul around to and from practice, to and from events, in addition to their props, their uniforms, water, change of clothes, whatever else they have, their school books. So when we're talking about displacing the girls from, the team, there is a boy on the team this year, like displacing the team from school facilities, it's a real challenge for the team to move their equipment. Even with traversing the school, the back elevator, it barely fits the equipment. It's incredibly difficult to move. So I just want to give the board members some real perspective on the ask here. Additionally, when they go to competitions, transportation has been a challenge. Imagine lifting a 350-pound, 400+ floor into a bus. to transport it or to a band parent's car. It's an extremely safety issue for the team. So having the appropriate trailers and drivers to support the team in their competition schedules would be appreciated.
Mr. Sharkey, just a question to that last point. I know you just had an event, I believe, on Saturday.
Yes.
Did you have a driver for?
So there was provided an additional bus driver, and there was the use of a CHS district van, which I think is the more appropriate solution than the additional bus. I think the ask would be if there's I believe, a small trailer that the band or the school district owns that's not operational, that with an associated CHS vehicle or the van. I understand that a ramp has been bought or supplied, but having an extra driver that could help transport the equipment in a CHS fleet vehicle would be, I think, the appropriate solution. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Stryker. Any other? Yeah.
Sorry, I just was sorry. I should have made this earlier, but I don't want to leave a meeting without mentioning one of our students at the high school who did something really amazing a few weeks ago, which is Benjamin Sampson. He scored a perfect score at the Pennsylvania Junior Academy of Science competition in Montgomery County. I competed in PJAS when I was in high school, and I can tell you that to obtain a perfect score at PJAS is almost impossible. He won a monetary award for that from Merck Pharmaceuticals, and he is just one of our many students actually who placed at the PJAS competition. But all of our first place students will be moving on to the state competition in May, and we had 5 first place finishers. So I just want to make sure that those students are, I know we did it on social media, but I just want to make sure they're committed here. They did an amazing thing.
Thank you, Ms. Lohman. Mr. Coffin, do we have a hand? Thank you. It will be loud.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nawana Stevens, co-president of the Band Parent Association. And I definitely thank you all for this time. But I just want to say that I had student, my daughter graduated about 3 years ago. She was on the color guard. And now my son is also on the band as well. And so I support the parent. There's a lot of parents that volunteer, but I'm just asking that you treat and support the team, the color guard team, the band team, as you would treat any other sport team. The students work very hard and tirelessly, and so we would just appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any other public comment? Any hands, Kevin? No. Before we close out the meeting, we only have our informational meetings on the agenda left. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge in the room with us, we do have Mrs. Nelson and Dr. Russell, who, as you all are aware, were just approved for moves in interim capacities to Cheltenham Elementary and to Cedarbrook East. So thank you for being with us tonight and sticking with us throughout the evening. We're excited and happy for both of you. You're welcome to say something if you like, but there is no pressure at all. And they have declined, and that is just fine. But I wanted to at least acknowledge and congratulate you. So thank you for being with us. And with that, the future meetings are listed in the agenda, and I will now take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second, Dr. Whiting, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.